What is up, everybody? Thank you guys for watching. This is the P-61 Black Widow build. This is a great kit. It's been around for years and it was a lot of fun. So stay tuned. We're going to build this thing, put it all together, paint it, build 3 of them. Craziness. This is the last model of the P Pursuit Fighter group version of Revell builds. So stay tuned for a whole collection video coming up soon and enjoy the build. So in the interior there's a lot of detail, and honestly it's a very good kit on the inside. A lot of great parts and a lot of different features that it comes with. But on the outside of the model, it doesn't have any recessed panel lines, so obviously that's kind of tough, you know. So tough to make it look super realistic like other models, but still a great model to build and a great mold. It fit together well and it was smooth. So here are the instructions, and they're pretty easy to read, easy to figure out. They do it step by step. Classic Revell instructions, and there are 3 different versions, so there are different parts for different P-61 Black Widows here. So just pay attention to your A, B, and C's, and you should be able to put this kit together fairly well. There are 3 different open areas and doors. You can see into the model. So there's one in the engine, there's one on the top of the engine, and there's one on the radar nose. But these are the 3 decal versions, and I was super excited to build the green one, so let's get into it. This is the turret, and you can assemble this so that it can move up and down, and it rotates as well. So it's a very cool feature for the P-61, and any kit that comes with moving parts I'm a big fan of. So I was super excited to put this together and have it move around. You also want to take in consideration, if it does move around, it's really easy to get the top seam. So you want to make sure to make this move around so you can sand out that top seam good enough. That was a huge help, so I could rotate it, and I could even take it apart and it would stay in there and then put it back together. So just make sure it rotates so you can sand that top seam out, and you'll see in a little while. Interior I just painted with olive drab, and I also mixed yellow into it to make a lighter olive drab. That seemed to work pretty well. And here's some magic. So here we go. There's 2 fully painted interiors of the P-61. And as you can see, there's a lot of great details in there, and especially after you silver the model. So just great detail. Honestly, for the interior of a Monogram kit, this is one of the best, and just super happy with the way it came out. Super happy. So this is just like your standard. Just make sure all those tabs are in the right spot, and make sure your seats go to the right spot on the back of the cockpit and bomber area, and then it fits right in. I really didn't have a problem with this fit at all. It's a great fit. So just test fit your area first and make sure all the tabs are cleaned and all the holes are cleaned out, and put that puppy together. So I already assembled the booms with the landing gear in, but there's tabs to make sure that you don't put the wrong landing gear in the wrong spot. And then you put the cowlings on, and it's a great fit and it's super awesome. Then you put this firewall on, and you're ready to put your nose cone in. Now I put weight in here, but I do not think it was enough. I just used the clear tabs that the kit comes with, because making sure that every single model weighs correctly to make it stand on its tricycle landing gear is so difficult. I just rather use the clear part. But I gave it a good solid effort, and I haven't even tried it without the peg, but I don't think it stands up with that much weight. If you want to load it up with more weight, I'm sure you can, and it'll work. The wings are super easy. They went in very well, and they actually clicked in, so that was helpful. And with the elevator is the same thing. It went together so well. Now I assembled the wings, and then I assembled these twin booms separately from the model. So now I put the wings and the fuselage on top of those, and that seemed to work pretty good. It still can get a little bit crooked on you, so make sure to clamp it and hold it. There's no way I was going to record me taping all these cockpits or these canopies, so sorry about that. But you know, when you tape so many off, it's just like, all right, I'm just gonna sit there, watch TV, and do all this taping because it's so tedious and difficult for anybody to record it. I've recorded it before, and oh man, no way, it's too boring. So all right, that's just primer, and let's get into some pre-shading. So pre-shading, I actually just use Vallejo black primer, and this seems to do the job okay. It does show up a little bit glossy, which I'm not a huge fan of. I'd rather have it matte. So if you're not a big fan of that either, I wouldn't get the Vallejo black primer to do this pre-shading, but all in all, you know, who cares in the end? It does work out for a good pre-shade, and you can always cover it up with matte later. So but it's just your standard procedure, and on this bottom it's going to get some gray. Two of these P-61s got D-Day stripes, and that is a pretty simple process to paint black and white stripes, so I didn't even record that. But doing this, this is a way to not pre-shade and still get a nice pre-shaded finish just by basing your whole model in black. But this top gets green, so that had to be pre-shaded. And I like pre-shading the green and then doing my panel lines and then going back with olive drab and just filling in those areas where it's too black. And I basically just use the olive drab as an eraser to erase the two black lines to get a nice weathered look. And I add about 4 or 5 drops of white into my olive drab to get it a nice sun-dried effect on the actual finish. But here I am pulling the D-Day stripes, and my white didn't quite go far enough on that one side, but that's okay. I'll let it slide. It actually has a cool faded effect, and I'm just going to leave it. This is actually the first model I've actually had D-Day stripes on, so it wasn't that exciting for me. I was just like, you know, whatever, gotta do D-Day stripes. It just is what it is. Yeah, so this nose wheel did not go on whatsoever. Don't know if it was my fault or the others, but had to clamp that. These landing gear doors, they go on so well. There's 2 tabs for each one, and they slide in and actually stick in. You probably don't have to glue these, but you probably should. But honestly, it seems like a task to do this part, but it's not. So here is the final pictures. Let's get back to building.